F4 Spanish Championship final race of the weekend, getting ready to go here from the Paul Ricard circuit in France. My name's Chris McCarthy. Thank you very much for being with us once again. First two races were a cracker. I'm sure this one is going to be just the same. 18 minutes plus a lap here round the Paul Ricard circuit to finish the weekend. 26 degrees. It is a hot one here. It has been all weekend. And it's been fantastic to have the F4 Spanish Championship here at Paul Ricard. They've treated us to some really good racing. I'm sure this one is going to be no different. Mary Boyer and Josh Tuvek, the two teammates, will be on the front row. Oliver Girth and Lorenzo Fluxa will be on row number 2. Philippe Ugran, who won both races so far, he's on row 3 with Kaz Havercourt. Then it's Ivan Nozov and Francesco Simernatzi, Suleiman Zamfari and Javier Sagrera. On home soil, Paul Adrian Palot and Enzo Giuli as well. Carlos Martinez is on row 7 with Yassin Ferrati, Augustin Collinon and Valdemar Eriksson. Row 8, row 9, Alejandro Garcia and Eloy Sebastian Lopez, the two Mexicans racing over in Europe for the first time this year. Lena Bula and Kike Bordas are row 10. Merbod Shimeli is on the back row. So Mary Boyer it is who's going to be on pole position. The 1 minute board goes up. Philippe Ugran has won both races so far. Finishing second in the first race was Kaz Havercourt, but he retired in race number 2. Finishing third was Mary Boyer in that first race. Then in race number 2, Ugran did win quite an eventful race. That one really fantastic racing all the way throughout. It was Mary Boyer who finished in second place. Lorenzo Fluxa finishing third in a brilliant battle for the last place on the podium on the final lap. 5-way battle it was, which went all the way down to the final corner. We have had safety cars in both races. There have been some incidents, but these are drivers in their first, some of them in their first years of single-seaters, fighting away to do the best they can to impress the rest of the paddock. And overall, they have been very impressive to watch indeed. So to talk a little bit more about the grid, Mary Boyer is going to be on the front row with Josh Dufek. Mary Boyer is a 3-time karting champion. He actually raced against Carlos Martinez in 2016, being to the title by just 7 points that year in his first year of single-seaters. Josh Dufek, likewise, he's graduating from World Karting. He raced for the Sauber Junior team last year, so already has eyes on him from the very top of the ladder. Then we have Oliver Girth being coached by Franco Colapinto, did the last round of the championship last year, taking a 13th place. Lorenzo Fluxa has been racing UAE F4 over the winter to 2 wins and 11 podiums in that. Philippe Ugran guesting with the Genta Motorsport team. In the races he's done over the last 2 seasons, he hasn't finished off the podium. Let's see if he can continue that. Kaz Havercourt is alongside him on row 3. He's the current world number 11 in karting, now jumping up. Then we have Ivan Nozov. He's going into his second year of single-seater racing. He did the championship last year with the best result of 5th. Let's see if he can beat that today. Francesco Simernatzi is next along behind him. Did some races in Italian F4 last year with his best result being 8th. Suleiman Zamfari is jumping up from Ginetta Juniors in the UK. Then we have Javier Sagrera, raced the last round of the championship last year, taking an 8th place. Very good for him. Paul Adrian Palot on home soil. He did the French F4 championship last year with a 14th, finishing 14th overall. Took a win at Spa, so he can win in these kind of cars. Enzo Giuli, he did 1 weekend of single-seaters before this year and did that at this very track. Let's see what he can do. Carlos Martinez not having the season many would have expected after he finished 5th in the championship last year. Yassin Ferrati, he's in very good hands. Pretty big name from karting as well. He's jumping up. Augustin Collinon on home soil. Valdemar Eriksson, the Danish driver who did Danish F4 last year, finishing 3rd. And then we have Alex Garcia and Eloy Sebastian Lopez. Both of those coming over from Mexico. They raced each other in Mexico last year, finishing in 1st and 2nd. Eloy being the vice champion, and Alex Garcia winning that's. But they've raced each other in the FIA Mexico National Championship as well, so those two know each other fairly well. Lena Bula is in 19th place. She's the only female and doing her first year in single seaters. Kike Bordas did an event called the IAME International Final last year, which is the biggest event in the world for IAME in karting. Finished 7th in that in the shifters. And then we have Mirbod Shemeli, who's coming over from racing in the Middle East. It's his first time coming over to Europe, so having to develop to these kind of tracks, so learning all the time, but he's in very good hands with the XL Motorsport team, the only driver in that team, so no teammates around him, and he will be one to watch, I'm sure, in the latter stages of the season. So to remind you of the grid then, it is Boyer and Dufek, Girth and Fluxa, then behind that Ugran and Havicourt, Nozov and Simernatzi, Zamfari and Sagrera. For the final time of the weekend, we are about to go racing in the F4 Spanish Championship. The green flag waves at the back of the field. The lights are starting to come on. 18 minutes plus a lap ahead of us, and the lights go out and we're off away and racing. And from the second row there, Oliver Girth had a brilliant start. He's already gone up to second, and he may even challenge his teammate Manny Boyer here as they go in towards turn number 1. I can see that looks like Lorenzo Fluxa in the green car to the left, trying to get through into third place, going around the outside, and he's through. So that's Lorenzo Fluxa. Is it almost through there as they now come through turn number 2. Fluxa also with Philip Ugran just behind him as well. Didn't quite get through to Fluxa. Now he's having to deal with his teammate, but they're side by side up front, and that's Manny Boyer still leading from Josh Dufek. In fact, that's Oliver Girth, sorry, who's got up to second. Josh Dufek is the driver in third. Then you can see the likes of Lorenzo Fluxa behind that with Philip Ugran. There's a very congested back half of the field trying to make their way safely through turn 5 as we come onto the back straight for the first time. They charge their way down towards the chicane where we can see a lot of overtaking. There is Mirbod Shemeli at the back of the field trying to make positions, but Manny Boyer is who's going to lead us down to the chicane for the first time. Josh Dufek sat behind in second place there trying to get through. He sat behind Oliver Girth, who's trying to challenge for the lead. So it is Boyer, Girth, Dufek, Ugran, Fluxa, Havicourt, Nozov, Simernatzi, Sagrera and Martinez in that order as we go up towards turn 10 for the first time of asking. And you can see there, that is the third place driver of Josh Dufek trying to fight back, and Dufek's gone back through, gets back ahead of Oliver Girth at turn 10, so he would have made that move really at turn 9, got a better run out of turn 9, and that is how that move was made by Josh Dufek to get back past Oliver Girth. A little bit more side-by-side action down the back of the field as Elliot Wood joins me in the commentary box. Elliot, you've been watching their first lap. It's been a clean start to the race and good racing at the front.
Yeah, and this is going to be very important for the title race because Cass Havicourt, our points leader, is down in 6th place, and Manny Boyer, his closest rival, along with Oliver Girth, are 1st and 2nd. But they're fighting, so you know this could be a very exciting race, and we're still only on the first lap.
Oh, that was,
as I was saying,
that was almost a contact there between Girth and Dufek. So the teammates also almost going into each other as they make their way down towards turn number 1. Here we can see a little bit further back. This is Cass Havicourt trying to make places as he comes across the line. He's just gone past Lorenzo Fluxa, so you can see Cass Havicourt now having to pull to the inside as through they go through turn number 1 and into 2, and that was a move around the outside being made there by Philip Ugran. So good result there from Ugran. Behind that they were side by side though with Havicourt and Fluxa, and it looks like Havicourt has emerged ahead. Fluxa though sold in the dummy in the green car there, trying to go in towards turn number 5, but isn't quite able to do it. Now into the tight right-hander we go, and not quite able to get back through there is Lorenzo Fluxa. He now has Ivan Nozov just behind him, and then in the all-blue, light blue colours, that is Francesco Simernatzi.
Yeah, and the Genza Motorsport cars aren't looking as strong as they are in the previous 2 races. That's probably because the other drivers have been looking at the data. We've had a long gap between races 2 and 3, and they've responded very well. Manny Boyer leading Joshua Dufek, staying in his slipstream. I don't think he's going to make a move. We see in the background 2 of the cars. That looks like Shemeli and possibly Eloy Sebastian Lopez right at the back. 2 MP cars go through fine. Philippe Ugran in 3rd place, very cleanly through. Are we going to see the 3 cars at the back? Oh, and he's still trying to make a move. Misses the chicane entirely. That did look like Mirbod Shemeli.
And that's not the first time he's done that this weekend either, so he did give it a go, but it didn't work out for him at all, as now they come through turn number 10 there. You saw Havicourt in the 27. It's the midfield all coming through. Hugely congested field it is in the F4 Spanish Championship, as it has been all weekend. brilliant racing all the way throughout. And there you can see one of the MP Motorsport cars off as they turn their way now into the left-hander. That looked like it may have been Josh Dufek that was off the field there as they come up towards the final couple of corners. So Ugran is now up into second place. In fact, it's at Murray Boyer that's dropped to third place, I think that is, as they come into the final corner. There is the 13, so indeed Josh Dufek has taken the lead. Murray Boyer, you can spot Murray Boyer because of his crash helmet, very light colours on his crash helmet. That's how you can tell it is him as they come down the start-finish straight. So it is Dufek now from Ugran. Then behind that it is Murray Boyer. Oliver Girth is in fourth place. It could get worse here for Murray Boyer. Oliver Girth trying to dive down the inside, can't quite make it through. Behind that it is Havercourt, Fluxer, Nozov, Simernatzi, Sagrera and Martinez. There you can see the number 6 coming through. That is Ivan Nozov. But here are your top 4. They're only split by around less than a second. There's Murray Boyer and Girth, and here is Fluxer trying to make a move on Havercourt.
Yeah, and going past the commentary box, we actually had Suleiman Zanfari and Enzo Giuli squeezing each other against the wall down the pit straight. Seeing them in the background, they've both made it through. Drivers going cleanly through the first section. This is very manic racing. Final race of the day. They want to get the most of it.
As we saw just in the background, Simernatzi here in the all blue made a move there on that is Martinez, and that goes through. So the 33 of Carlos Martinez now into 10th place, still trying to find the form many of us would have expected. So it's 2 by 2 in the top 6. Ivan Nozov then in 7th place in chase as they come down towards the chicane. Defensive driving having to be done there as we get in towards the braking zone, and so far no moves being made. 1 or 2 drivers just running a little bit wide through the chicane there. Like a move being made a little bit further back, but leaders now making their way up towards turn number 10, and Ugran absolutely flying. He's up to 2nd place now. Here comes a battle for 5th place. This is Havercourt versus Fluxer for 5th. There goes Fluxer trying to dive down the inside. Isn't quite able to make it. Nozov sat in behind. Oh, and there we go. That's opened the door. Havercourt's run wide. Fluxer's found a space on the inside, and Havercourt's off. Championship leader off the road. Now, oh no, and he's going to spin his ear. I think he's got damage here. I think there may be some damage for Kaz Havercourt. Left rear damage.
And we saw, I think I saw a front wing there as well. We saw 2 of the MP cars ahead. That might have been Girth and Boyer who clashed as well. A corner ahead. We're going to have to see a replay of this because it was just out of shot.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. It was the 2. There was 2 MP cars ahead, but it was the distraction of Havercourt off the road there. So all will be revealed very shortly as we see the number 31 going through shot there and on to the start-finish straight to start another lap now. So the order is Dufek still leading from Ugran, then it is Boyer and Girth. Behind that it is Fluxer, Nozov, Havercourt, Sagrera, Simernatzi, Martinez rounds out the top 10. Fastest lap from Philippe Ugran. So Havercourt has dropped to 7th. The other cars were Murray Boyer and Girth. They were the other MP cars. They are dropping back from the top 2, but none of them appear to have any significant damage. These front wings can almost look like they are damaged when they are not. So sometimes they can catch you out, particularly in our position as they now come around turn 6 and in towards turn number 7. So Ugran trying to make this a hat-trick of wins, but Josh Dufek has something to say about that. Former Sauber junior karting driver as they come onto the back straight once more. Down the back straight now. See a little bit further down the field there. Look like Augustin Collinot coming onto the back straight with a little bit of pressure from his countrymen behind. See all the places gained. Ugran is the joint highest mover with the likes of Eloy Martinez, Augustin Collinot as well. Piquet Bordas down in 17th. There is Carlos Martinez. We can see he is down in 10th place trying to go after Simernatzi, but out front Dufek has the race winner from earlier today and yesterday, Philippe Ugran cooling all over the back of it.
Yeah, Philippe Ugran's doing very well here, and Lorenzo Fluxer had actually at the fastest first sector of anyone, but I think he's got a little bit of clear air between himself and Oliver Goff, so staying out of trouble as we see a number of the MP cars, they're everywhere among this order, fighting with the Drivex. I think that might be along with Carlos Martinez is in the Progress 4 car as well, because we did see a battle further back with Zanfari and Collinot. We didn't see a replay. In fact, we need not a lot of replays of these first 2 laps if we want to get the full details of what's been happening.
There was Paul Adrian Pallon there we saw going through shot. It looked like that was maybe the 22 making a move there. He's currently just outside of the top 10. Oh dear, a little bit of a lock-up there as they make their way into the final corner, and a move being made just ahead. Another move being made there. So good moves being made further down the field. It looked like Ericsson was one of the drivers that made a move.
Alex Garcia as well.
Yeah,
and
so
Ericsson's defending now in the FA Racing livery car of one of the Gensers, and he's got a Progress 4 car either side of him as well. The Kiki Bordas behind them, and then it's all they get way too close into turn 1. I think Ericsson's going to hold it. No, Genta Motorsport car goes down the inside. Great move there, and it's very well pulled off through the first 2 corners.
Good driving that as they make their way now down towards turn number 3. Ericsson still having to defend here as they come in towards turn number 3. Behind this as well, got the likes of Kike Bordas, who's involved in this as they come in towards turn number 5. Just under 10 minutes plus a lap to go. There you saw the number 34 of Kike Bordas. Behind that, he has Merbod Shemeli, who's now trying to get his toe in the water. He, of course, ran wide through the chicane, which we're coming up to here, and straight on through that. So now he's going to have another attempt to get in some moves done. Dufek and Ugran starting to pull away out front. Here a little bit further back, that is Nozov leading Kaz Havercourt, the championship leader. But this has not been a good round for Kaz Havercourt so far. And Oliver Girth, the closest to him. Oliver Girth is on 61 points, but he is not in a podium position. So here is Nozov second in the queue. The orange and black, that is Kaz Havercourt. So this one of the lower scoring points. Oh, in fact, sorry, this is the... Oh, there we go. We'll come back to that because Nozov runs wide, and there goes Kaz Havercourt. So Kaz Havercourt goes through to 6th. 6th place would give him 8 points, as he's now holding on. And as for Oliver Girth, 4th place would give him 12 points. The gap going down, but far too early in the championship to pay too much attention to that. Let's go back to this battle a little bit further up the road. This is between Oliver Girth and Lorenzo Fluxa as they come through the final corner. You can see Mary Boyer trying to get past as they come down the start-finish straight once more. So Oliver Girth has in fact got himself up to 3rd place while we were looking away. Mary Boyer has dropped down to 4th place as they cross the line. That was one that clearly happened out of picture. Lorenzo Fluxa in the all green just behind. And behind that, Nozov is now going to get past here. Nozov has the Javier Sagrera car coming down the inside, and that is Javier Sagrera going through. Behind that in the blue is Francesco Simernatzi. And then we have Martinez, who has had a brilliant race so far. Eloy Martinez is now in a potential spot to get a top 10. Oh, and that's Ivan Nozov running wide, and he's going to have to run straight on. Well, it looked an ambitious attempt from the start, and Nozov does a good job there to slot back in without losing any time.
Nozov has been in a lot of battles this weekend, and they've pretty much all ended in the same way. He's probably gone through his tyres quicker than any other driver. But obviously, there is a lot of sliding in these F4 cars. They're a lot lighter. They run higher off the ground than perhaps the Euro Formula and the Formula Regional cars. So there's a lot more room to wiggle around. And that, I think that's one of the Progress 4 cars we can't see as the sun is setting. And there's in tandem, that's Jen's car pulling out. Nozov gets way too slowly on the brakes. As I was explaining on the tyres, he's going to lose another spot. So I believe that is Carlos Martinez after allowing Francesco Simernatzi pass. Martinez hops over the curbs, doesn't lose his front wing, but he's drawn back alongside Nozov, back onto the Mischarf straight. He's going into a slipstream. I don't think he'd be brave enough to go for a move at turn 10, although he very might, and the camera pans to battle further up front. Yeah,
it's back for the lead. This is Dufek versus Ugran. Ugran, the one behind in the green. And then behind that we have Girth. Oh, and it looks like, and there goes Ugran down the inside. What a move that would be if he could pull it off through turn 12. And Ugran is through. Brilliant move there from Philippe Ugran. How on earth did he pull that one off?
But Dufek's come back across on the curbs, going through to turn 12, sweeping around turn 13. So when they come into turn 14, he should have the inside line. Done it, and back into the final corner. He had to back out at the last second there. But Ugran's gone wide, and he's gone way onto the dirt. And obviously, he didn't want to hit the small block there on the curb. Still alongside. They're about to come past the commentary box, so we'll see just how close they are. He's behind him now. No, he's drawing back alongside.
Well, here we go, down towards turn number 1. Dufek to the inside, and on the outside there, that is Philippe Ugran as they hit the brakes going through turn 1. Ugran's going to give this a go around the outside, but it looks like Dufek's going to give him the space. Almost contact between the two, and there was. Dufek's gone off. Dufek off off the road then, so that's going to put Ugran back into the race lead. Now Oliver Girth is coming into play, and I think that might be Oliver Girth potentially going through to the race lead there as they come through 3, 4 and into 5. Matty Boyer third in queue, fourth in queue is Lorenzo Fluxer, so it's Oliver Girth who has now taken the race lead. Is it out of nowhere? We didn't see where Josh Dufek rejoined in all of this, but there's the top 4 as they now come onto the back straight, and they're being led by Oliver Girth. Second in queue, Philippe Ugran, then it is Matty Boyer third, fourth is Lorenzo Fluxer. Fifth is Josh Dufek. Into the chicane we go one more time. Just over 4 minutes on the clock. Is there going to be a dive down the inside from anyone? No, so they stay as they were. And where did that come from?
I don't know, back in 6th place still is Kaz Havercourt, so he hasn't lost anything. Oliver Girth is obviously in 1st place. That title battle is going to get a lot closer here, but we thought Havercourt's race is over, but the 2 MP cars
swapped,
fighting. Yeah, Joshua Dufek and Kaz Havercourt drawing alongside and one another on the straight again. I think they've just swapped place twice in the space of a corner and a bit.
Wow, so that's Havercourt up to 5th.
Oh, and very wide over the curbs on the exit of turn 10, so that's where you're getting a lot of track limits warnings.
Oh, and Girth from wide here, is he? Let's
Again into the apex of turn 11.
Wow.
Ugran still in 2nd, Mary Boyer in 3rd. Yeah, that is a Girth still in front. We have to double check here. Fluxer in 4th in the green and grey car that looks slightly like Ugran's Genza machine, but we don't want to mix them up while there's basically 2 identical cars a piece raching here.
You have to go off crash helmets. Mary Boyer's got the lighter colour crash helmet in the green
Ugran
car.
gets very loose there. A late braking move by Boyer, but thinks better of it. Looks around the outside of the final corner, cuts back in. Everyone's clean through there, apart from Ugran. He's hitting over the curb again.
Down the straight then, so yeah, you can see the number 14.
He's looking in his mirrors both directions.
Mary Boyer is going to look to the outside, coming down towards the first corner. Has Mary Boyer got the run here in towards the first 2 corners we go, and almost contact there, but Ugran just about holds on. Well, if you're tuning in and going, is this normal? In F4 Spanish Championship, yes it is. So this is exactly what we see all the time in the F4 Spanish Championship, and fantastic racing. But Oliver Girth has got a bit of a break here, and he would be on to take his first race win of the season. He's had 3 podiums so far this season, all of those coming at the first round, 2 5th places. 5th, his worst result in the championship, but this would be a win he would very much deserve as they come onto back straight once more. Here we pick up Josh Dufek a little bit further down the field, the recovering Josh Dufek in that number 13 car. Oliver Girth now just has to get his head down and get away. He's got to take advantage of the gap he has, but in the background there, side by side, Matty Boyer looking to the outside. Matty Boyer's going to try and get the switchback. He could get the run out of turn number 9 here, gets a better run through 9, tries to draw alongside, but in the green, that is Ugran, who's still just about able to hold on. All of this playing into the hands of race leader Oliver Girth, because he is now going to be escaping.
And we just saw a car jump over the chicanes right at the back. I think that might have been Suleiman Zamfari in 10th place, just gone counting how many cars we saw, and that's bringing 5th place. Havercourt is ahead of Dufek, and he's coming back into contention here, so he could get on the podium as Ugran gets very loose at the rear end on the apex turn 10 and goes completely off, going through into turn 12. Well, but he still holds on to 2nd place.
It was the same from Fluxer as well. That's who I was watching, and I was about to correct you, and then I thought, oh yeah, exactly the same thing from exactly the same 2 cars. Into the penultimate corner they come. Matty Boyer in the orange and black there, trying to make a move now as they come up towards the final corner. Not quite able to do it, and we've still got 2 more laps of this.
Which more than 2 laps.
Yeah, I'd want that to be an hour and 10 minutes.
He's looking left and right in his mirrors again, so he's expecting it. He's expecting the MP car to come on the left first, so he can cover off the inside line. But he's sticking to the outside, ready for turn 1. And he's actually looking in his mirrors for Fluxer as well. Going around the outside, number 64. Can Mary Boyer do it? I don't think he can. Philippe Ugran, has he lost? No, he's still in picture. He is still in 3rd place. So Ugran leads Boyer and Fluxer in the battle for 2nd place still. And Havercourt is right on their tails now.
In towards turn number 3, Matty Boyer there, 2nd in the queue. Just trying to have a look at the inside. Takes a little bit too much curve through 3. That's hurt him now as they come through 4 and into 5. Fluxer thinking about a look down the inside. 4th in this queue is your championship leader, Kaz Havercourt. And then just in the back of the picture, coming into screen now, 5th in this queue is Josh Dufek, who was once leading this race. Onto back back straight we go now. This for the penultimate time as they come down the back straight. Mary Boyer second in the queue here of the guys behind the race leader, trying to make a move for the lead. And in the background, Kaz Havercourt is drawing alongside Lorenzo Fluxer as well. So Havercourt making a move here for fourth place. Mary Boyer looking left and right, trying to go second. Almost a repeat. Havercourt has gone through the second. So championship leader now up into fourth place. Josh Dufek, who's at the back of that quintet, he's now going to be trying to make moves as well. But Ugrant has got his hands completely full here on the penultimate lap.
Yeah, and he's going to try and go around the outside of turn 10, thinks better of it. Ugrant holds on second place, but we have seen him go wide pretty much every lap on the apex. Is turn 11. We're going to see if he can keep the rear end in shape. He does just about. You can see him going a little slower though. He's probably backing up a bit, and that's actually backed up Boyer into Havercourt. And looks like Fluxer went way wide there in the background. He's dropped quite a bit of time, so Dufek's ahead of Fluxer now as well. Simernatzi and Nozov are closing in, and Ugrant's just holding off Boyer. I think that is still, we really can't see what's happening. Yeah, Ugrant's still ahead. He's now got 3 MP cars behind him, fronted by Boyer, and that's just allowing Girth to escape. And there's a final lap, final corner of the penultimate lap. There's almost 3 wide there. They're about to cross the start-finish line for the final lap. This is a great battle.
Here we go across the line then, and Mary Boyer is about to lose third place. Kaz Havercourt had the run of the final corner, and Kaz Havercourt's going to be side by side with Mary Boyer coming up towards the first corner. Boyer to the inside, Havercourt to the outside. Havercourt's going to try and go all the way around the outside, and Havercourt's through. Championship leader into third place. Right, 1 down there, 1 more now to go to try and get second. Philippe Ugrant will not get that hat-trick of wins that he's been chasing. So now these 3 cars have to try and almost work together. They can't let Philippe Ugrant get away before the back straight. Into turn number 5 they go, and that was Boyer. They're trying to move. Havercourt's been forced to go defensive, and Boyer on the exit trying to get through, has to back out of there. All of this playing into the hands of Philippe Ugrant at the head of this queue as they come onto the back straight. In the background, this is a battle with Ivan Nozov, Simernatzi and Lorenzo Fluxer. So Fluxer's the one, he's dropped away from this battle, and he's now having to defend from Simernatzi and Nozov. At the back there, just pulling out of the slipstream, that is Josh Dufek trying to get past Mary Boyer. Mary Boyer comes out to defend. Havercourt now piling on the pressure here of Philippe Ugrant, and a move almost being made there through turn at number 9. I'm just trying to see if Boyer and Dufek have swapped places. I don't think they have as they come uphill. In fact, they have. So a move into turn 9 there. Josh Dufek goes ahead of Mary Boyer. Now Philippe Ugrant trying to hold off here. Kaz Havercourt and side by side there. Now Nozov side by side with Suleiman Zamfari, with Simernatzi there. So Simernatzi trying to go around the outside here of Nozov, and that's Nozov going into 7th place. So brilliant move from the Russian driver. But what about the battle for second is coming up to the final couple of corners. That's the one we need to be watching. Philippe Ugrant trying to hold off Kaz Havercourt. That is Nozov in the 6th, trying to get past Lorenzo Fluxer. Here is the driver that is going to pick up the race win. It's going to be his first win of the season as he makes his way through the final corner. Oliver Girth comes up to the start-finish line. 3 podiums at round 1. Oh, a narrow waist win for Oliver Girth this season. One of the MP cars running wide at the final corner. Second will be Philippe Ugrant, and third will be Mary Boyer. I wonder if that was Kaz Havercourt. Kaz Havercourt finished in 4th, Dufek 5th. Then it was Flukes and Nozov, Zamfari, Martinez and Adrian Palot. Wow, what a way to end the weekend there, Elliot. Fantastic racing in the F4 Spanish Championship.
Yeah, we're now going to have to think about the points battle because Havercourt, great recovery.
Well, there we see it.
4th place at that.
There we saw the replay. Oh,
getting his arm
I
out.
kind of hope we see that one again between that was Havercourt and Boyer. Well, we might see that one again, but there's your race winner, Oliver Girth. He took the race win in the end, and that was driving of, you know, being in the right place, right time, and taking your opportunities. Let's confirm the result then. Oliver Girth wins from Philippe Ugrant. Mary Boyer, those your podium finishes. Kaz Havercourt, the championship leader, is 4th place. Josh Dufek in 5th, Fluxer 6th, and Nozov 7th. Then it was Simernatzi in 8th place, and that's then behind that, Zamfari and Martinez. That rounds out the top 10 and the points finishes. Then it was Adrian Palot, Collinon, Ferrati, Julie were the top 14. Fastest lap going to Mary Boyer with a 2:05.144. he, of course, finished in 3rd place. Behind that, outside the top 14, Valdemar Eriksson rounded out the top 15. Then it was Garcia, Bula, Bordas, Lopez, Chameli and Sagrera. So Girth scored 25 points with that finish, and 12 points went to Kaz Havercourt. So the gap is going to close by 13 points. It was 22 points coming into this race. So it is now going to close down to, what's that going to be? 9 points? It's going to be 9 points, isn't it? Coming into round number 3. And that 3rd round of the championship is going to be at Girth on the 19th and 20th of September. From there, they will go to Valencia, then to Aragon, then to Catalonia before they end in December. I know that's becoming the norm now in the world of motorsport, isn't it? At Circuit del Jarama. But there's the race winner, first win of the season. How good must that feel for Oliver Girth? And I know Franco Colapinto, reigning champion, who's working with Oliver Girth, is going to be very happy with that one, Elliot.
Yeah, great result. And I'm hopefully going to speak to the drivers now. So I'm going to leave the commentary box and try and get the feedback from what was a very exciting race.
And thank you for your services this weekend. Elliot Wood leaves, of course, he'll be back at all the remaining rounds. But fantastic, there is Oliver Girth. He pulls in to the front slot. How good is that going to feel? What a race to win, to get your first win of the season in what is going to be one of the races of the season all the way through. Fantastic stuff, Oliver Girth. Can't wait to get out the car, can he? Brilliant stuff from the MP Motorsport driver. He takes the win ahead of Philippe Ugran, who's beaten for the first time this weekend. And is that Franco Colapinto? I think it is. And he's working with him. There's Philippe Ugran. He finishes in 2nd. I'd say that's a weekend of work. Job done for him. 2 wins in a 2nd. And quick selfie before podium. Brilliant stuff from him. And, very happy down there. At 3rd, MP Motorsport, 2 drivers on the podium for them. Murray Boyer. Brilliant stuff from Oliver Girth. It was all kicking off in the final lap. In the background, that's Murray Boyer talking to the team. I'm assuming about the incident with Kaz Havercourt, because Kaz Havercourt was not pleased at all with what happened at that final corner. So let's take a look at the highlights then. Murray Boyer led us away from pole position from row 2. Josh Dufek got an absolutely brilliant start, got straight up into 2nd place as they went down towards turn number 1. Clean start overall it was from the leaders, as the 3 MP Motorsport cars were being battled away with by the likes of Lorenzo Fluter and Philippe Ugran as well. He was trying to chase after his hat-trick of wins as they turned through 1 and 2. That was the moment we had an excursion there from championship leader Kaz Havercourt, who almost clattered into the side of Ivan Nozov. Did a good job to avoid that in the end. You can see another little look. That was the moment that Dufek went off, so it wasn't even contact, it was all his own doing. And Josh Dufek, that took him out of the running for the race win. And Oliver Girth, that was the moment he took advantage, and Oliver Girth went through to take the lead of the race. And then as the battle ensued for 2nd, that was one of the moves of the race in towards turn number 10. But as the battle ensued behind, Oliver Girth charged off to win by 3.6 seconds and take his first win of the season. Behind, there was the moment that Kaz Havercourt ran wide at the final corner. He dropped in behind Murray Boyer, who would round up the podium with Philippe Ugran clearly very happy ahead of him, and Josh Dufek would be in 5th. Well, fantastic stuff. As I said, we'll be back out in F4 Spanish Championship on the 19th and 20th of September. Thank you very much for tuning in. Do take care. Until then, we will see you next time for round number 3.